Hi there. It's January 25th and time for Proverbs 25. Now, this is the beginning of not their Solomon's Proverbs, but Solomon didn't write this, okay? These were Proverbs of Solomon, verse 1. These are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied, okay? How did they get in here? I don't know, but most of them we've heard before, or versions of these things, okay? And Solomon, it was said that Solomon wrote over 3,000 proverbs in his lifetime, many of which have probably been lost or not discovered yet, right? So let's begin with the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. Right? Now, what's the note over here? Okay. Because the king ruleth by the revealed word of God, the cause of his doings must appear, and therefore he must see diligence in trying out of causes. Right? The king should be praying all the time, right? And doing what God says. Okay, verse 3. As the heavens for height and the earth for depths, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Okay. I think they were talking about King Hezekiah here, right? Okay. Now he talked about this. Solomon said, the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, and God tries the hearts, right? Take away the dross from silver, and the smith has material for a vessel. Right? I say, when you melt any metal into a liquid state, all the impurities float to the top. They scrape the top off, throw it away, and what's left is pure silver. God does that with hearts, right? And we didn't say that here, but Solomon went on to say God does this with your heart. Mm-hmm. 5. Take away the wicked from the presence of the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Right. Good rules for today, right? Okay. 6 and 7. This is good advice. That's why it's highlighted. Okay. Now, this does not count for church, okay? This only counts for banquets and meetings and award ceremonies and stuff like that. Okay? Don't put yourself forward in the king's presence or stand in the place of the great, for it is better to be told, come up here, than to be put lower in the presence of a noble, right? So, like I say, if you're a church, you sit in the front pews, okay? You sit in the front pews and get the full experience. Hey, if you're going to a banquet or a ceremony of some kind, sit in the back, okay? Even if you're the one that's going to be honored, sit in the back. Because if you sit in the front thinking you're all that, and everybody comes in there and some usher comes up and says, I'm sorry, you're in somebody else's seat. Then they got to march you to the back of the room in front of all these people. All right? We'd rather sit in the back and have them say, we have a seat for you up front. Follow me, please. And they get to watch you be led up to the front. Okay? It's just sound advice right there. I always like that. What your eyes have seen, do not hastily bring into court, for what will you do in the end when your neighbor puts you to shame? Argue your case with the neighbor himself, and do not reveal another secret, lest he who hears you bring shame upon you, and your ill repute have no end. Your bad reputation, right? Don't be suing people willy-nilly, okay? Settle it outside. Everybody knows about these. It becomes public knowledge, all right? Okay. 11 and 12 go together. A word fitly spoken, like apples of gold in a setting of silver, like a gold ring or an ornament of gold, is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Right? If a very wise person is trying to correct you, you should listen to him. Right? A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Something beautiful. Right? It is something beautiful. Right. 13. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Right. Not that they want snow, but you're out there harvesting. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's hard work, and a nice, cool something would feel good, right? So a faithful messenger to those who send him, right? Ambassadors, we call them, no? Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. And many people who say, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to give you that, and give you that, but they never do. Okay? Kind of like political promises, right? It's a famous, promise, 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 then you up for them and nothing happens, right? Yeah, like clouds and wind without rain. That's a good one. I should highlight that, but I'm not going to because I don't want to talk about that anymore. 15, with patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue will break a bone. And I highlighted this because this last part, a soft tongue will break a bone. Okay, and there's a note over here. That is the heart that is bent to anger. Right. 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 With patience, a ruler may be persuaded. A soft tongue, words are very, very powerful. The most powerful thing in the world are words, right? You can kill somebody with words. You can save somebody with words. Okay? And it turns out that the softer you speak, the more people listen. Okay? If you're whispering, people will lean in to hear you. Okay? I used to do that with my kids. Okay? When I had something really serious to tell my kids, I would whisper. And they would know I was serious, and they would get very close and listen because they didn't want to miss it. Right? Like if you were going to tell them, I'm going to tell you this one time. And then they're going to go, listen. A soft tongue will break a bone. Okay? That's why I say over and over in every chapter, say only kind things, uplifting, edifying things. Okay? If you only say kind things, you will be known as a kind person, and everybody will want to be around you. Just because you have a reputation for being a kind person and making them feel better and lifting them up, right? That's the kind of person you want to be. Oh, yeah. We took that to the store, didn't we? Okay, 16. If you have found honey, eat only enough for you, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it. Right. Found honey. Don't be a glutton, okay? 17 is highlighted. Let your foot seldom be in your neighbor's house, lest he have his fill of you and hate you, right? Don't wear out your welcome. Wait to be invited, okay? Just wave. You see him? How you doing, neighbor? Right? You don't want to be on them bugging them all the time, okay? Just, right? Nobody likes that. 18, a man who bears false witness against his neighbor is like a war club or a sword or a sharp arrow. All right, don't do that. That's lying, okay? 19, trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. These evil guys, treacherous? There's a treacherous man. What's it say over here? Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth. Right? These kind of people are going to get you into trouble, okay? This guy hurt my feelings. Let's kill him. No, let's not. Okay, just don't hang around with people like that. 20, whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day and like vinegar on soda. Right. Somebody has a heavy heart. They're very sad. They lost a loved one. They're down. You don't want to be clowning around with them, okay, to try and make them laugh. Okay, that doesn't work, okay? Most times, a heavy heart, all you have to do is sit there. Just sit there, okay? Just be there. That's enough. You don't have to say anything. Just be there. And when they start talking, because they will eventually start talking, then you listen and don't say anything, okay? And if you're inside, you're praying, Holy Spirit, give me the words to comfort this person. And he will, okay? He will give you the words to say when the time is right. That's very important. Okay, let's highlight that just because that's important. Okay, Jesus said this, didn't he? If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. Right? If your enemy is starving, feed them. Right? And they keep burning coals on his head. What that means is they will have guilt. They will eat because they're starving. They will be thankful that you fed them, and they will feel guilty. They will be racked with guilt because you were kind to them when they're trying to kill you. Okay? And it works. That's why Jesus said, love your enemies. Okay, 23. The north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue, angry looks. A backbiting tongue, all right. Angry countenance, the slandering tongue. You like that over here in the 1599 version. All right. You say mean things behind people's backs. It's bring more than angry looks, okay? Sooner or later, somebody's going to put you down, okay? 24. It is better to live in a corner of a housetop than a house shared with a quarrelsome wife, okay? Okay, now we know Solomon said this a lot because he had a lot of these problems because he had 700 wives, okay? That was his downfall. 700 wives. And it wasn't so much collecting the wives, he was collecting the property that the wives had, okay? They were all princesses, right? And he was trying to expand his kingdom. And he had to deal with wives. And he had to deal with their customs and their gods and their idols. And he let them build, right, temples to their idols. And God really didn't like that. That was his downfall. Too many wives. One wife is enough, okay? Most people will agree with me that one wife is enough. Okay, it's a full-time job. Okay, and a great job to have. Right? Okay. 25, like cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Yeah, we like good news from a far country, huh? Like all that crap going on over there in Europe. When good things happen, it makes you feel good. Right? 26, like a muddied spring or a polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way before the wicked. Okay, this happens in politics too. Okay, you got a good man up there. It gives way before the wicked, right? Because they don't have morals to stand up to people. 27, it's not good to eat too much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. Right? Uncertain over there. What's it say over here? Not glory to seek one's own glory. That's pride, okay? Seek your own glory, pride, boastful, arrogant, conceited, okay? And we found out up further up the chapter there, it says eating too much honey will make you sick and vomit, okay? Nobody wants to be sick and vomit, so not good to eat too much honey. Nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory, okay? When you walk into a room, I did this, I'm great, yes, that's me. Nobody likes people like that, okay? They just don't like people like that. They like humble. Everybody likes humble, all right? Like the humble hero, just doing what I had to do. Okay? 28, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Leave yourself open, right? You leave yourself open to lots of bad stuff if you don't have self-control. It says over here, a man that refraineth not his appetite is like a city which is broken down and without walls. Also, and so is in extreme danger, right? You're in extreme danger if you're without self-control. That's good over there. So there you go. That's Proverbs 25 and the words that King Hezekiah's men copied down from Solomon, right? Students of his, probably, searching over his stuff and picking out the stuff they like the best, right? And go to the highlights here. Okay, do not put yourself forward in the king's presence or stand in the place of the great, for it is better to be told, come up here, than to be put lower in the presence of a noble, right? Don't sit up front except in church, okay? At functions, you sit in the back. If they ask you to come to the front, then you get a little bit of notoriety. It helps your reputation. Oh, that guy must be special. They're putting him up front. Better than to be say, oh, look, they're moving him to the back because he's full of himself. Okay? Good stuff. 11 and 12 is highlighted. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Right? You listen to wise people that have good advice for you, right? That's a beautiful thing, right? Like apples of gold in the setting of silver. Right? Good stuff. Okay, 15's highlighted. With patience or learning be persuaded. In this line, I like a soft tongue will break a bone, right? Words are very powerful. Be very, very mindful of what you say to people. Right? And a soft tongue is more dangerous than a loud tongue, because when you're screaming at somebody, somebody will often say, well, he is in the heat of the moment. He is not in control of himself. But if you're speaking softly, right, you seem to be very well in control. And if you're saying horrible things very softly like this, right, that can do a lot of damage. It can do more damage than, I have had mean things said to me like this. I'm 65. When I was very young, I have never, ever forgotten. You never forget those kind of things, okay? Never. So, be kind. Say only kind things, right? If you say only kind things and you only tell the truth, right, you don't have to remember anything, okay? 17 is highlighted. Let your foot seldom be in your neighbor's house, lest he have his fill of you and hate you, right? Don't wear out your welcome, okay? Just stay home. Stay in your own backyard, Come on over and have a glass of tea. That's one thing, and you're invited, okay? Don't make it a habit. 20 is highlighted. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day and like vinegar on soda, right? If somebody has a very heavy heart, something very bad has happened, right? Singing songs, joking around, and trying to make them laugh is not going to help, okay? That is not going to help. Best to just be quiet and listen, okay? And we talked about that. Okay, 21 and 22. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink, for you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. Right? They will be burning coals. They will be racked with guilt and won't know how to process it, that I am their enemy. I'm trying to kill them. We are starving, and they fed us. Okay? They brought us food. They brought us water. That's burning coals on their head. They can't process that. Okay? Good stuff. Jesus talked about this quite a bit. Okay? He probably got it from here, right? 27, it's not good to eat too much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. It's not glorious to seek one's own glory, right? Always be humble. Don't brag. Don't be conceited, right? Don't be haughty, or a scuffer, they call them. Right? And 28, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls, right? In extreme danger. That says we're here in the 1599 Geneva Bible. In extreme danger. Okay? You have to control your emotions. You have to control yourself. It involves, most of the time, just keeping your mouth shut. Okay? Sometimes it's that simple. Keep your mouth shut. Okay? So, there you go. That's Proverbs 25. Getting towards the end of the Proverbs again, and then we'll start over again next month. Why not, right? Let's check out what we're doing through the New Testament in a year. Today we're reading the entire chapter of Matthew 16. It's only 28 verses, so it's not that long, but there's good stuff in here. Pharisees and Sadducees, leaven, and this is where he puts down the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Good stuff. That's good stuff. So we'll read that later on today. Stay tuned for that. But until then, give us a like if you think about it. But until next time, we'll keep going. See you later.